guys, I welcome all the students of class 12, and especially I was discussing with you in my previous YouTube video also, and that is chapter number 3, reproduction in human beings. Okay, so today once again I will discuss with you the second part of the human reproduction. So in this chapter we will discuss the female reproductive part, because we had already discussed the male reproductive part. Today we will discuss the female reproductive part. As far as female reproductive part is concerned, you know that there are two ovary in female reproductive system, and there are two fallopian tube, and there is one uterus. You know, so first of all today I will start with the ovary. You know there are two ovary, and ovary release ovum, the female gamete cell. Ovary also release several hormones also. Every month ovary release ovum, and it release the ovum alternatively, because the question is, does the ovary release ovum, both ovary release at a time? No. The exact answer is one ovary release ovum 1 month, and the next ovary release ovum in the next month. So alternatively ovary release ovum. It's a very natural. Okay. Chal. Next topic is fallopian tube. Also I would like to tell you that the length of ovary is 2 to 4 centimeters. Now fallopian tube, there are three names of fallopian tube. You can say fallopian tube, you can say uterine tube, you can also say oviduct, right? Oviduct is the place where fertilization takes place, male and female gamete fusion, which will form zygote, and zygote will convert it into embryo. That I have discussed with you in my previous classes, right? So fallopian tube, if you see the fallopian tube, the lower part which is attached with the ovary and which is called fimbryo. Fimbryo is a finger-like structure which receives the ovum which release from ovary, the female gamete cell. So this is the lower part of fallopian tube which is called fimbryo. F for fimbryo, F for finger-like structure, right? So the next part is infundibulum. Infundibulum is the funnel-shaped structure. Infundibulum is the funnel-shaped structure, keep-like structure. So after infundibulum, the next part is ampulla, which is larger and broader, and isthmus is a narrower part. So these are the three parts of fallopian tube as I have discussed with you. So the next topic is, what is the function of vagina? You know the function of vagina. Vagina is a tract where menstrual bleeding carries out, and vagina is a tract from which the baby will deliver also. So now the next topic is, what is mammary gland? You know human being falls in the category of mammals. Why? Because human has mammary glands. Those organisms which do the breastfeeding, which is called mammals. So like human being is a mammals, whale fish is a mammals, cat is a mammals, rat is a mammals, and even bat is also mammals, as we have studied in class 10 also, class 9 also. So the next topic is, which hormone is responsible for secretion of milk in case of female? So there are two hormones which is responsible mainly. One is prolactin, second is oxytocin. Prolactin and oxytocin are the hormone which is responsible for secretion of milk in case of female. Now the question is, prolactin released from which gland? You know pituitary gland, which is also called master gland. Why pituitary gland is called master gland? Because it controls all other glands, and that is why pituitary gland is also called master gland. And let me tell you that prolactin released from pituitary gland. So now oxytocin released from which gland? So oxytocin released from hypothalamus gland. You know that oxytocin is a hormone which released from hypothalamus gland. So pituitary gland control all glands, and that is why it is called master gland. On the other hand, you know, hypothalamus is a gland which controls pituitary gland, that we have studied earlier also, right? Now we will discuss which hormone, which antibody is responsible for secretion of milk in case of female. You know, there are 4 types of antibodies, that is IgG, IgA, IgM, IgE, and IgA, immunoglobulin A, which is an antibody responsible for secretion of milk in case of female, right? So right now we are discussing with you the reproductive in human beings, chapter number 3 of class 12. So the next topic is, what is the difference between ovum and sperm? This is very important question of class 12. You know, ovum is a female gamete cell and sperm is a male gamete cell. Ovum is stagnant, whereas sperm is motile. It has the motility. You know, it is traveling, and ovum is the largest cell, and it is larger than sperm, whereas size of sperm is smaller than ovum. So these are the 3 different that you can mention in your notebook, that what is the difference between ovum and sperm. So the next topic I am taking, what is menarche and what is menopause. Menopause is when there is a condition, the age around the 50 years, when the menstrual period will be ceased, and this age is called menopause. So the last menstrual cycle occur in female is called menopause. Now question is, what is menarche? The first menstrual cycle in female or girls during puberty is called menarche. So first menstrual cycle is called menarche, last menstrual cycle is called menopause. I think all of you understand the topic I am discussing with you. One by one I am discussing with you. The next topic is define menstrual cycle. You know, first of all I would like to discuss with you each and every hormone. What is the full form of FSH? FSH, the full form of FSH is follicular stimulating hormone. What is the full form of LH? Luteinizing hormone. What is the full form of GnRH? Gonadotropin releasing hormone. Other hormones all are also responsible, like estrogen, testosterone, relaxin. So there are many hormones. Okay, now we'll discuss menstrual period. If you see the diagram and structure in NCERT as mentioned, that there are 2 phases, 1 to 14th day and 14th to 28 days. Because the cyclic discharge of blood from non-pregnant uterus at the gap of 28 days is called menstruation, right? So first phase is called follicular phase. 1 to 14th day is called follicular phase, when follicle will develop, you know, and follicle will develop slowly and gradually. After that it will rupture on 14th day. On 14th day when follicle will rupture, it will release ovum, and that is specific term is called ovulation induction. So now the question will be asked in 12th board, that which hormone is responsible, which hormone is at the top or peak when there is ovulation induction. So during ovulation induction there is a LH surge. LH is a hormone responsible for releasing of ovum. So LH will be at the top on 14th day. LSH, FSH will also top, but LH will be more at the peak during ovulation induction. So the remaining part of ovules, rupture of oval, that will form corpus luteum. So what is the function of corpus luteum? Corpus luteums are the cell responsible for maintaining the menstrual cycle, as well as it is responsible for conceiving the pregnancy in post follicular phase, that is luteal phase. So 1 to 14th day is called follicular phase, and 14 to 28 days is called luteal phase. So during luteal phase, which hormone is at the peak? And that is progesterone. And actually I would like to tell you that corpus luteum is responsible for releasing progesterone hormone, right? I think all of you understand today's class. Thank you very much to all of you.